Hi, I'm Zena Krogadal, your American Dream Makers host today. And I'm excited that you are tuning in. We have a very special guest today. And I'm going to play the intro video and we'll get started. Okay, I'm back. So if you are watching this live, I would ask that you would share this. I would really appreciate it. And also, if you're not in the American Dream Makers Facebook group, please go ahead and join. And I'm also on YouTube. So if you want to like and subscribe there, that would be fantastic. And so, without any further ado, I want to talk about and introduce my guest today. And he is a author, a speaker, and entrepreneur. He's got so much experience, 16 years in artificial turf. And today we're going to have a little bit of turf talk with my friend Nick. So let me bring Nick on in. Hi, Nick.
Hey, Zena.
How are you today?
Good, and you?
I'm doing well. So, how's the Texas weather?
It's good. It's a little bit windy today, but I'm ready for it to warm up some.
Yes. Well, did you get a little warm spell for a few days and then it got cold again? Because it did here.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's like a little teaser, like, oh, spring is in the air, and then nope.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. Yep.
Okay. Well, Nick, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule. Really appreciate you being here. Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so like Zena said, my name is Nick Olgilvie. I've been in the artificial turf business for over 16 years. I love starting businesses. I've got a few under my belt, and yeah, I love helping people. So my goal, so I have a vision board, and my goal is to help at least 200 people every year, and I think I'm up to 35 right now.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's pretty good. 35.
yeah,
It's March. So,
yep,
yeah. So you're well on your way, sounds like.
yes, yes.
So, how did you get into the artificial turf business?
Yeah, so what happened was I got laid off from work, which I worked for the BNSF Railroad. And what happened was I didn't know kind of what I was going to do. And there was a magazine called Smart Money Magazine back in the day. And in the back, it had franchises and stuff like that that you could look for. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna look at, and there was a few artificial turf and there's a few solar, and the market at that time said that the solar power and that artificial turf was the next big wave in the next 30 years. So I chose to do artificial turf, and I paid a guy out in California to teach me for 2 weeks. And then after that, I came back, and a lot of people laughed at me thinking I'm going to sell fake grass. And it was a slow start, just like most businesses are. By this time, the railroad had called me back. So now I'm working the railroad and I'm working the turf business at the same time. I did that for about 6 years. And then one day I got a big job in Florida, and I took a 2 week vacation. And that was the last time I ever set foot on the railroad again.
Wow. That was
Yeah,
a big move for you.
it was, because it was security, right? Like,
Hmm.
it had the benefits, it had the retirement, and it had everything.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of people tell me, I don't know what you're doing. You're crazy. Don't do it. And I went ahead and did it. And I'm glad I did. So the thing I miss most is the guys, right? Like, talking to the guys, and it really was a close knit of people that I worked with. And I loved working with the guys. I did. It's just, that's probably the part I miss the most. But
That camaraderie.
Yeah, yeah, it's neat because you're with these guys for 12 hours a day mostly, and you get to know their full family, their wives, their kids. It's like you're just one huge big family. So I do miss that.
Yeah, I bet. So what was it? So you've got people in your circle that were telling you that you were crazy and this wasn't going to go anywhere because you're selling fake grass.
Hmm.
So what made you decide you were not going to listen to them and you were just going to go for it?
So when I did that big job in Florida, I seen all the money that was out there, and that's when I really knew that I was onto something. I knew that there was always something bigger and better. I just didn't know what, as far as how I'm going to do this. And when I did that big job, I thought, I can make this happen. And that's what I did. I went literally knocking on doors, selling artificial turf. It's one of those things that whatever you do, you have to be a product of the product and love what you do. And I literally love what I do. So when we come in there and take out either if it's a small yard or a sports field, whichever one, you come in there, you take it out, and it looks like a bombs went off. It looks horrible. But when we get done, it's beautiful. It's like I'm an artist, and that's the canvas, right? The backyard's the canvas, and when we get done with it, it's beautiful. And I'm so lucky to have great installers and stuff like that that take care and take pride in their work, because that's really hard too, is to find people that take pride in their work.
And so I guess with that, just to elaborate, what is it about the artificial turf and providing for your clients? What is it that you love specifically?
So I love that. I mean, everybody that really gets in touch with me has the need, right, for their yard. And so I love being able to fill that need and then seeing their reactions. And just the whole full circle. It's awesome. You do a lot of yards with people that have kids, and you see their kids' reactions on their face when it's done. They're out there playing soccer, they're out there playing wiffle ball, whatever. And then you got the people with pets, and the pets love it. They start barrel rolling. It's the craziest thing. I mean, they literally just they love it. And so it's awesome to see putting a smile on someone's face. So
Yeah, and it's pretty low maintenance,
very,
obviously.
yeah, very low maintenance. Cuts
So
down the water bill considerably.
I bet. And you don't even have to have a green thumb to have a nice lawn.
No, exactly, exactly.
So what makes Lux Blades different from other artificial turf?
So what we've done is we've taken the highest installation standards and the best turf, and we've combined it. So we're not the cheapest, but we're the best. And how we've been the best is by improving our installation methods over the past 16 years and knowing, okay, well, if we have this type of installation, we know what to do. A perfect example today, we're in a yard, and the guys tell my project manager, hey, we're going to need to add another box drain to this yard to help it drain better, because the pool company had sloped the yard towards the house. So we're installing a whole, basically a drainage system for free. And yeah, it's going to cost me around $400, but that's okay because I know that I'm going to get that back in referrals. And it's basically just doing the right thing. In Lux Blades, that's what we do. We do the right thing. We don't make someone pay the very final part of their bill until they're 100% happy. So we try
Wow,
to set the standard instead of the standard being set for us.
that's great. That and so do you provide Lux Blades just in Texas or can you go anywhere?
So yeah, I've done installs all over the United States. Right now I'm primarily doing focusing Texas and Florida, but yeah, we've done it all over the United States. So everywhere from LA to Burlington, Vermont, all the way down to the Keys. So
Wow. So do you take your whole crew down there, or do you find people down there to help you
I
when you
find
have to?
people, yeah, so I find people down there to help me. And it's crazy. Over the years, I've taught so many people how to do artificial turf. I can literally call them up and say, hey, I'm going to have a job here in 3 weeks. Can you meet me there? Absolutely. And they know what's expected of them and how to do the Lux Blades quality.
That's fantastic. So that's part of what you also do, is that you teach others to install. You've written a book on
Yep.
that.
Yeah. So I've written 2 books, one, How to Sell Artificial Turf, and the other one is in Installing and Understanding Artificial Turf. And so I've also created what's turfedu.com, and it's an actual masterclass that I teach, and it's 3 months. And what it is takes everything that I've learned in the past 16 years and is giving it to someone that's either in the landscape business right now, or they're wanting to start their own business, or they're in the hardscape business. They can convert their business in order to sell the artificial turf. And so a lot of people think it's crazy that I'm creating competition, but what I'm actually doing is helping out the artificial turf industry, because I want someone that, if you're having a party, Zena, someone goes over to your yard and they're like, wow, that's beautiful because it was installed correctly, versus someone going over to your yard and going, I'm glad we didn't do artificial turf. So, it's basically helping out the industry. There's enough clients to go around. So having the job done professionally and correct is very important to me.
Well, and I think that's a great attitude that you have, because you're right. I mean, can you? And the reality is, can you really service? I mean, we've got how many people that live in the United States?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How can you possibly service all of them, right?
Yeah,
Without, yeah.
absolutely.
So there's plenty of work to go around.
There is. There
So
is. Yeah.
And so as you find yourself as an entrepreneur, so you went from working for the railroad, not really doing sales, and then you went into a business where you basically had to learn how to sell. Can you tell us a little bit about the secrets or things that you learned to become a great salesman? Because obviously you are.
Hmm. Yeah. So over the years, so I was really fortunate to grow up with two grandfathers that had their own businesses. And one thing that I learned from them was customer service and doing the right thing. The selling's easy if you always do the right thing, and you're not selling snake oil. So that's really honestly my key to selling is I care. I care about every individual. And this is something I tell my crew. I don't care if you're installing artificial turf for a single wide or a mansion. It's both very important. These people work very hard for their money and treat everybody with respect. And I mean, I'm telling you, that's what it is. That's my secret sauce is I care. And I'm not going to upsell them and say, oh, well, you really need this turf because this application. No. Let me ask you, do you have pets? Yes. Okay, you're going to need the pet turf. I mean, very simple. Even though there's a cheaper option, just to get the sale, I'm not going to do that. Because if I gave the customer a cheaper product just to get the sale, I'm really cheating the customer at the end of the day. Because it's going to look good for a couple months, but then it's going to get matted down because their dog's going to run a wear pattern. So I'm not in the business of doing that. I got to do it right the first time. Do it nice or do it twice, and I believe in doing it nice every time. So that's my secret sauce in selling, is actually caring and being empathetic to my customers. So now it's just word of mouth, really, as far as advertisement, is because of treating people the right way.
That's great that you operate on that level for sure. The integrity and the honesty and caring. Um, definitely people will learn to trust you faster when you come out with, you're not all about the money. It sounds like it's about,
Right.
hey, these are the results you're looking for. This is what I can provide you. If you're looking for the cheapest Walmart artificial turf,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
not
the guy.
your guy. I'm not your guy.
Yep.
But if you're looking for something pretty amazing where people are surprised that it's artificial turf,
Yep.
really, when, then give me a buzz. So that's great. So you've done quite a bit of different uh, landscapes in the over the 16 years.
Hmm.
Tell us a time where it was most interesting or a funny story or something that's memorable from your experiences.
I think one of the most memorable experiences is building a golf course with artificial turf and giving the opportunity to do that. And it was a guy out in River Falls, Tully Curry, great man. And what happened was is on the north rim of the Palo Duro Canyon, and what happened was is he wanted a golf course out there, but he really didn't want a lot of water spent out there because it's West Texas, where it gets hot and stuff. So he said, build this golf green for me, this huge golf green, and if it's as good as you say it's going to be, then we'll think about doing a 9-hole course. So I said, okay. So I said, well, I need this, and this as far as equipment and stuff. He goes, okay. So that Monday I showed up and I had dozers, trenchers, compactor. I mean, I had all the big Caterpillar equipment. And I was like, wow, this guy's serious. So I built the first green and he loved it. He was like, okay, it is what you said it is. And so he basically gave me the keys to design and build a 9-hole golf course.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. I was the first one in the United States to build a golf course out of artificial turf. So that's probably my most memorable and most fun project, just
How
because it
long,
was so memorable.
how long did it take?
3 months.
3 months. Wow.
Hmm.
So you probably experienced a lot of weather change in 3 months.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when you do your artificial turf, especially for like golf surfaces and stuff like that, you have to add as much base as possible and do it correctly, all your layers, because you could have the best turf in the world, but the base underneath it's horrible. Unfortunately, it's going to be horrible in about 2 to 3 years.
Mm.
So that's why doing every step correctly is important.
Wow. Yeah. It sounds like you have to be very detailed, oriented to really make sure it's done. Because I'm just thinking of, the ground that you might have to work on, and even just getting it prepared to lay the artificial turf would take a lot of detail.
It does. Yeah. So we were scraping it out and then putting it in trucks and taking it over somewhere else and adding it and compacting it because there's so many different elevations that we had to do. So it was fun.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you stuck with it, that you didn't listen to your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure they're kind of wishing they didn't say those things to you too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
uh, but the reason why I called this show the American Dream Makers is because that I wanted to have something that we could bring in entrepreneurs and others who have one achieved the American dream, which is not an easy feat. Anyone
No.
who has arrived knows there's a lot of ups and downs to going, and you have to be very persistent.
Hmm.
Um, and then to encourage and inspire one another to continue the course and help others to come along. And so, that it really inspires me to hear stories like you being an entrepreneur of defying the odds, and taking the risk. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
going from the railroad to a secure job, like you said, with, knowing that you get a paycheck, knowing you had benefits, to jumping into something that you don't necessarily have a retirement set for you.
Yep.
Your pay is not consistent, especially in the beginning. And then you're not really sure the roller coaster ride that's going to happen, with
Oh
all
yeah.
that, right? So I would gather that with all this, so obviously it wasn't the naysayers that helped you along the way, but you must have had some people in your life that really helped lift you up and propel you. Can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I've had, I'm lucky to have good parents that have helped me along the way and believed in me and stuff like that. A brother that same way. Um, I had, or have, also a good person that's important in my life, Phyllis. She was basically my second mom in college, and she taught me a lot about um, being good at what you do, not just being half. Just like be the best you can be. And then the past couple of years, I really got close with a guy that actually did a project with. It's the craziest thing. A 3-hole golf course, and having a good mentor is so important. And to learn from, and reading is something that's helped me out a lot. Just read, read, read. It's something like for your podcast with American Dream Makers. I suggest people that are on the verge of wanting to start something, or they're like, I don't know. I would urge them to read Decade by Decade by Bob Bill. And once you read that, you'll be like, oh, okay, so I'm not crazy. And it's okay if I failed here or there. There's still time. A lot of people think, oh, it's too late now. I'm throwing in a towel. I'm just, Julia Child didn't write her first cookbook until she was 50.
Wow.
Sam Walton didn't really get going until he was in his 40s. And he failed multiple times. So, it's not always what you see on Instagram, Facebook. It's not perfect. And that's what people need to know. It's not perfect. And it's going to be a lot of ups and downs. So, I just always think positive, a positive mindset. And that, and pray a lot, a lot. And, I know this is going to work out. I know this is going to work out. And there's times where I thought I bit off way more than I can chew, but it worked out. So, it's one of those things like I give so much thanks every day to God, and so appreciative that he's let me do this and be as successful as I have been. That's honestly the truth. So I definitely have people read Decade by Decade, because once you do, you'll be like, and it's an easy read too. That's what's even cool. It's such an easy read, but you'll be like, oh, okay, and it makes people kind of sit back and calm down. So
Yeah, that's a great recommendation. I'll have to pick up that book myself. I haven't read that yet.
yeah,
If anybody's here on live, if you can put in the comments that you're here, that'd be great. And also, if you have any questions for Nick, please don't be shy. Put it into the comments. Hi, Tom. How are you? So good to see you.
hey Tom. Tom's a rock star. He
Tom
says
is
we're rock stars, but he's a rock star too.
he is absolutely a rock star and amazing guy for sure. So glad to know Tom. And Tom was my first person I interviewed, and he was so gracious and just full of wisdom and knowledge too. So
Yeah,
he
and
had
I just received that book that he was recommending, the 21 day of grateful, what be thankful and grateful. And
Yes.
I just received that book yesterday.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I
So
know there's definitely some good reading out there, and I've got like a pile of like 5 or 6 books I got to get through right now. But yes, I want to get that one in line too,
yeah,
for sure. So I guess I would like to also go back. So when you first got started, there were some challenging things you had to deal with. Obviously, one is that you just had to go for it, even though people were saying you're nuts. But two, I would imagine just trying to get, I guess, a vision and even get your schedule going. Do you have any tips for that, for when somebody starts out, how to really start and get that going?
Yeah. So, one, you got to find a need, right? You got to find a need that people have and fill it. And so, my need was in eastern New Mexico, there's no water. And what can we do in order to, and so that was artificial turf. And so, I mean, that's definitely what I would do is recommend, if you're getting into the business, any business, why are you getting into it? Because your why has got to be very important too. And then two, what's the need and how are you going to fill it? And is the need great? That's the thing, right? If the need's not great, then if you're going to start a t-shirt business, you might want to think, okay, not everybody needs, a t-shirt, but what can I do to make that t-shirt better than, is it putting a funny saying on it? Is it putting motivational sayings on it? What is it that was going to make it better than? So, that's another deal too, is finding something that's great, and how do you add to it?
Yes, absolutely. So that book is Gratitude Works by Robert Emmons. So absolutely,
Yes.
get that on your reading book list for sure. Thanks, Tom. And then, yes, Tom, the why is the fuel for what you desire. What do you desire? So fantastic that you found that when you did. And so just something kind of fun. So what's it like to live in Texas? How long have you been there for?
So I've been here for only about 3 years. Before that, of course, I was in Florida, and I lived across the street from the beach. Oh, wow. Where I fished every day. Anybody that knows me knows I love to fish, and I literally would fish every day, and I would fish for my meals at night. It was awesome. It really was truly awesome. And then I moved out to Texas, and I was pretty familiar with Texas, but I'm so thankful that I have a house with some land. So, I have cows, and I raise cows, and I raise them to eat, so it's kind of neat. It's like, I don't know, it's neat. I enjoy the ranch part of it. So, and the people here are so nice. I mean, the people in Florida were great too, but the people here are so nice. You open a door for someone says thank you, and it's really nice. A lot of people have a lot of manners here. It's super nice.
So you've got obviously plenty of acreage to have cattle, to have some cows, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many do you have right now?
Just 2. I had 3.
Okay.
I got 2 now. I got three full freezers full of meat.
That's awesome. Well, there's nothing like your own cattle that you raise and have. I know that's not for everybody. Yeah. But I've definitely I haven't had one myself on my own property, but I certainly went in with another friend and have experienced that. And it tastes way better. It's way healthier.
Yep.
And you know what you're getting.
Yeah, it's completely night and day. There's a lot of people that I'm saying, have you ever had a, meat from like a ranch? No. So I'll give them a couple pounds of ground beef. And it's so funny because not only does it taste good, but one of my buddies, Logan, I gave him some meat, and he sent back a picture of his frying pan, and there was no grease in it. He's like, that's amazing. He goes, so much flavor and, so little fat. And it's just, yeah, it's a process of getting the cattle to mature like that. But yeah, it's awesome.
That's great. So as the entrepreneur that you are, do you have any other ideas or things that you might want to do as well on top of the turf stuff?
Yeah. So, man, do I? I'm always thinking of new ideas. So I'm part owners of a game court system. I'm part owners of a another company called Flips Made Simple that go and take it's a master class on flipping homes for profit. So the next one will be a restaurant. So I'm really anxious for that. So
That is sounds exciting, especially now that you know how to do the cattle, right? Are you gonna
yeah,
provide beef?
yep, I am. Yeah, it's going to be a really neat experience. A really neat experience. So it's going to have golf simulators in there, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be a really like family fun oriented restaurant to just so everybody gets has a good time. So
That's wow. That's great. I can't wait
yep.
for you to open it up. I'll have to come out there and come out for opening.
Oh yeah, I might have Ken as my chef. I think
Yeah,
he doesn't know
yeah.
it
There
yet,
you
but
go.
I'll go ahead and make him the chef.
Well, since he's not listening at the moment, that we can just
Yeah, we
we'll
can
just
just talk it up.
if you speak it on the internet, it's going to happen.
That's right. That's right.
Oh gosh, that just sounds like you've had quite the adventure, and you have learned many things. It sounds like you have become an incredible entrepreneur. And can you tell us, maybe give us a takeaway or two that you have learned along the way that I know you've already given us a little bit, but if you got anything else in that there, that would be
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, I could keep going. I'll I'll give a couple other pieces. One is when you think when you're about to give up, don't, because you've heard the saying, that oh you're almost so you're so close, but no, you need to keep going because it's just right around the corner. There's going to be some tough times. Just keep your head down and go for it because it will happen. And another thing that just, if you don't get anything else out of this, just do things the right way and treat people right. If you don't know the answer to something, just say, I don't know, but I'll have an answer for you within 24 hours. More people will respect that than just saying something. Because one, it may not be true, or two, it may get you in trouble. So, yeah, that's it.
That's good. That's good tips. That's for sure. So something a little bit, I guess, off of business. Um, what is your most favorite place that you've ever visited?
Hmm. Most favorite place? I would have to say Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah, I've been all over the world, and I would say Hawaii. It's amazing. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it was so amazing because I was there with my wife and it made that so much more special. But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I've went shark diving in South Africa, outside of Cape Town, and I would say Hawaii beat that. So
Yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. I've only been to Hawaii once. Yes, integrity is so important, Tom, for sure. We need more entrepreneurs out there demonstrating integrity.
yeah,
When people are looking and when people aren't looking, we got to be honorable in all that we
yep,
do. And putting other people first is what it sounds like what you do, Nick.
it is.
You
Yeah,
know, you're putting their needs before your very own needs, and in return, the I guess if you make it all about the money, that's not a very success. You're not setting yourself up for success for the long run.
no, no,
Maybe
and there's
temporarily, right?
yeah, and there's a lot of people out there. They try to get the home runs right every time. I just try to get on base. That's all I want to do is get on base. Eventually, It'll come around to home plate. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, treating people right, having integrity, and going the right way about it.
Yeah. So it sounds like, I mean, you stay very, very busy. I mean, you and I belong to a couple of mastermind groups together, and we just got back from Florida, which was an
Yeah,
amazing mastermind retreat.
it
Turn it out.
was.
So if anybody gets a chance to go to it, the next time it's there, you definitely should sign up, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hands down. It blew me away. I mean, my expectations were good to going, but it was even better. It was it was amazing, and that's something too that that people need to learn. You got to invest in yourself, and that's one of the things, right? That's why we were there. We were investing in ourselves, and it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to say. So you're a very busy guy. You're involved in a lot of things. You've got a family. So, for those in the audience, it might sound like, does Nick really ever get time to really play, or how does he quote unquote balance his life, or that sort of thing? So how do you make sure that you've got things prioritized so that you have time for your family, or that you get to go enjoy Hawaii, that sort of thing?
It's basically because I'm lucky to have a good team in all my different businesses. If I didn't have a good team, then I wouldn't be able to do all of that. So the first 5 years, it's tough, and you're not really having that much free time with your family or anything like that. But once you surround yourself with a good team, it helps tremendously. It really does. My goal is to just bust my rear end for another 5 years straight, and then exit strategy on everything. So, and that's the thing. That's where, if you're an entrepreneur, you're able to do that, and you can see that you have a vision of what you want to do, and that's my vision. In 5 years, have everything, and have a nice exit strategy, and then I'm still young enough where I can enjoy all the time with my family that I possibly can. So, and what's neat right now in this day and age that we're doing business in is the AI industry, and being able to simplify our work and having digital planners where I'll set maybe one solid day, and I'll have the calendar, the planners all in front of me, and I'll create all my ads, everything I'm going to do in one day, and it runs for the next month and a half. I don't have to worry about it. And then when I know it's going to hit the 20-day mark, I'll stop and I'll do it again. And I do it at the 20-day mark versus the 30-day mark, because what if time gets away? What if something happens? Well, now at the 20-day mark, I'm able to do it. So,
Well, that sounds like a great plan for your planner. So
yeah, and anybody listening, they can go to nickstoolbox.com, and everything that I do is all on there. And so they can go either to therealnicko.com or nickstoolbox.com, either way. And it shows everything that I do to save time and save money. It's things that I use. So,
it's nickstoolbox.com.
yep.
If I can get this scrolling on there. There we go.
Yep.
Toolbox. Although it looks like Nick's Stoolbox when I write it out.
It may have started off as that, but it's Nick's Toolbox now. Oh, shoot.
Either way, it gets you to his site.
Yep. Exactly.
And there, I've actually peeked into the toolbox, and that's pretty fun. You've got some great resources in there, and so I'm really grateful that you shared that with me.
Yeah.
That's
it helps a lot. Like, like one of them is the Ad Creative at IO or whatever it is. That is amazing because you put everything in there, your keywords and everything to add, and it turns that ad into a conversion ad. So then that way you just point and click and add it to your Facebook, add it to your social media, anything. And it's going to be a high conversion rated ad. So that's really cool that all the technology that is out there.
That's great. And then I've got your, I think,
your
website, luxblades.com as well.
Yes.
So those are the two ways someone can get a hold of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I really enjoyed this time with you, Nick, and getting to know you and hearing about the background of how you got into Lux Blades, and really excited about your new endeavors that you have going on. You are an amazing person. I'm so glad to have met you, and I look forward to a continued relationship long term.
Absolutely. Yeah, the last time I saw you, you were dressed up like Dolly Parton, had the wig and all.
I know, and I wasn't sure that I could pull that one off, but I thought, why not attempt?
That's right.
And in fact, I put on my Facebook page, help, how does a Vietnamese girl, dress up like her favorite Hollywood star? And it's funny because my husband was telling me, it's like, you could be any of the Asian actors. I'm like, yeah, but they're not necessarily my favorite Hollywood star that said to pick your favorite. So
that's right. I loved it.
Well, thank you. Sometimes it's fun to put a smile on people's face. So if nothing else, I've definitely have learned along the way. Sometimes it's better to just humble yourself and make people smile than to have that pride and say, forget it, I can't do it, so I'm not going to participate.
Absolutely. Smiles are contagious.
Yes.
So
yeah, they are. And laughter is a good medicine. So in case anybody was having a bad day, I figure if they had a good laugh, maybe,
Exactly. That's why I always wear my Chris Farley shirt, right? My
Matt
Foley, how many people, they just start laughing. They see the shirt and they're like, oh my gosh, just like, it brings a smile to their face.
Yeah.
And it's just simple stuff, simple stuff.
So Tom's got something to share with you. So to make sure you
perfect,
get a hold of Tom. And
awesome. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah. And for sure, Tom, thank you so much for being on here and supporting us. And we're grateful for you. And one last thing before we take off, Nick.
Sure.
What are you grateful for today?
Man, I am grateful for everything that I have. Grateful for everybody that I know, good and bad, because it's made me who I am today. So, every day I wake up, I'm grateful that I got to wake up. So, God's great. That's how I live my life. So It's just always being, and grateful and thankful. Thankful, for you having a show, because you never know who it's going to reach. And that's all, and that's the thing is, no matter what circumstance you're in, always be grateful and always be thankful, because there might be someone else that's not in a great position. So.
Hi, Allison. Oh, so good to see you on here. I'm grateful to know you too. And I miss you as well, Allison. And speaking of t-shirts and making them fun, Allison has great ones.
She does. She does. I love it.
So, so I definitely want to get Allison on here too one of these days. So maybe we can talk about her t-shirts a little bit more too.
Yes, you need to.
So I'll be in touch, Allison. Thank you for being on here. Well, thank you so much. I, again, just really thankful, grateful that you came on today, taking the time out of your busy schedule. And I guess we will chat later. So I'm going to
Sounds
I'm
great.
gonna, I guess, sign out and get my outro video. See if I can get this going.
All right. Well, have a good day. And thank
Thank
you.
you. You too. All right. Regret. There we go.